Hello guys, this is Ray Chen. So before I start, I want to thank you guys for clicking like my video and subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell. Also comment if you have any questions or if you have something to say. So today's topic is called "You Are a Chicken Shit. Prove Me Wrong." It's not meant to humiliate anyone. So all these accusations I'm gonna talk about, I have once been there before, and I think I have overcame. So the problem with being a coward, being scared, and being a chicken shit is that you are not aware of it. So I'm sure for most people, just like myself, once I found out I was being a coward, then I'm able to break free. So that's why I want to make this episode to share about some of the fears that I have went through myself and have overcome. So I think this would be very helpful. The reason I made this video is because I think the audience for this video is probably anywhere if you're between 15 years old to maybe even 40 years old, depending on how soon you realize that you have been a coward. But for a lot of people, it takes a long time to discover some of the things that you are fearful of. Okay, I'm not talking about jumping off the cliff, bungee jumping. I'm not talking about that type of fear. That type of fear is very obvious. You know you are scared of it, and you know what's going on. For example, if I go to bungee jumping, and if I'm scared of jumping off the platform, then I know I have been a chicken shit, right? But many of the fears in life, you don't know that fear is keeping you from moving forward. So that's why I want to make this episode to point them out. Okay, so just to prove to you that I'm not a chicken shit, so I'll share with you a little bit about myself. Obviously, I still have fear. The difference between a coward and a chicken shit versus somebody that's brave is that I think somebody once quoted that you move forward despite having the fear, right? So I was infantry in the army before. Some of our training involving jumping out of the helicopter into the ocean. So I had some fear of height. After the training, I'm still kind of wary of the heights, but I was able to overcome it. But that's just that kind of fear is easy to overcome because you can face it directly in the face. But for most of the fears in our life that a lot of people live throughout their life without knowing that they are being caged by the fear that and they're not aware of it. That's why I want to make this video and talk about these fears. So the number one fear is that a lot of people, believe it or not, you are scared of being better than your peers because you want to be accepted by your peers. So you try to fit in. That's why all these teenagers try to fit in because you want to be accepted, and that's why, because you want to be accepted, sometimes you don't want to appear to be better. I mean, I'm not saying you think you're a better person than another person. I'm just saying, let's say if you have some special ability, if you are talented in math, in whatever, So some people actually, forego their talent just trying to be accepted by a peer group. Okay, so another fear a lot of people have is I'm gonna try to give an example for each topic. And another fear a lot of people have is not having friends. Because I think a lot of these topics is probably gonna be relevant to many people of different age. Anywhere from 10 years old to 40 or 50 years old. But probably for some of the topic is probably more relevant to the teenagers. Other topics probably more relevant to the grown adults. So a lot of teenagers have a problem of not having friends. They fear that they're not accepted. It's kind of related to the last topic I talked about. So when I first came to America, I came here when I was around 15 years old. I started 10th grade here. Initially, I had some trouble because I didn't speak English in the beginning. So that is a legitimate fear. But the purpose of today's video is to help you to see that there are these fears that are going on in your life that you're not aware of. Okay. The next fear is you are scared of how people perceive you, how people, what people think of you. That's another fear a lot of people have. So for example, when I first came to America, I didn't speak English, right? So I was kind of hesitating to talk in English because I was scared how people gonna see me. Are they going to think I'm dumb, or that I don't know how to speak English? So luckily I overcame that. So I was able to learn to speak the language, and my English is not perfect, but I'm able to talk in English and you're able to understand me. So if I hadn't overcame that worry that people how people gonna see me, then I probably wouldn't have learned to speak English, right? So that's an example. So another fear a lot of people have is to, especially in high school, right, or middle school, you are scared to eat alone because you don't want people to see that you're the only person, that you have no friends, right? That's another fear people have. Another fear a lot of people have is they're scared to say no. But when you're scared to say no, it's both a burden to yourself and to other people, right? So if you feel like saying no, just say no, and maybe say in a more just say no. Yeah. So, and another fear a lot of people have is offending other people. Then because you want to avoid offending people, then for example, let's say if you're in a meeting or in a workplace, and if somebody's they're saying something very stupid that's going to jeopardize the project, because you don't want to offend them, and you don't say anything, so the project maybe end up being a failure because you don't want to offend them, right? Another big fear a lot of people have is the fear of the unknown. So it's keeping people from visiting other country. It's keeping people from investing in other country. It's keeping people from going to another new job. So that's a big thing. That's a big part. That's a big fear that's keeping a lot of people from growing. The fear of unknown. Another fear that a lot of people have is your fear of not being accepted. It's similar to the fear of not having friends. So that's a major fear a lot of people have too. Another fear that people have is losing the benefits. So in another episode, I talked about a lot of people actually keep their job because they want to keep the benefits. So I've worked for GE, General Electric briefly. I see that a lot of people work there for 20 years, 30 years just because they want to keep the benefit. I also know a lot of people keep their job for 20 years, 30 years just because they want to make sure they have the retirement benefit. Another fear people have is leaving a relationship. Sometimes the relationship may not be the right relationship, and it may be a really bad relationship, but people still don't want to live it because they have the fear of leaving the relationship. Also, people are scared of hurt other people's feeling. Is similar to you have the fear of offending other people. And also, a lot of times people have the fear of speaking the truth. People, especially in the working environment, try to be nice. Try to be politically correct. They try to always make other people feel good. They don't want to offend anybody. It's all bullshit, right? So another fear a lot of people have is you probably fear people leaving you, right? Either your loved one or your significant others. So that's another people have. It's not good, because if you're always fearing your the person that you love leaving you, that's actually bad for the relationship, because the more you fear about that, the more likelihood they're gonna leave you. Okay, but the minute you throw away that fear, then you are free and you become yourself and you become an independent person. Once that happens, you actually become more lovable, right? It's kind of opposite. So another fear is a lot of people are scared of asking for business. So for the most part of my career, I'm in a sales industry. So mostly it's a real estate sales. So I'm not scared of asking people for business at all. Sometimes I can make cold call 700 calls a day. I just ask people, are you thinking of selling your home? If what worse that can happen, right? They can hang up the phone, they can scream at me, they can curse me out, doesn't matter. Let's say I make 700 phone calls, as long as, even if I just get one yes, that's money, right? That's income, that's profit. So like the Bible always say, right? If you're scared of if you want something, ask for it. But a lot of people don't ask. A lot of people, there are these bank robbers. They go into the bank and they rob the money. Those people are actually cowards. They probably would rather go rob a bank rather than doing what I did. Making 700 phone calls, getting screamed at by people, getting screamed by the people that pick up the phone and ask for the business. To them, robbing a bank is probably easier than for me to calling 700 phone numbers and being screamed by people. Another scare a lot of people have is getting bad reputation. So because they don't want to get bad reputation, so they keep themselves in line, they keep themselves quiet, they keep themselves in inaction, because they don't want to offend anybody. They want to make sure they have a pristine reputation. I'm not saying doing something illegal or doing something unethical. I'm saying that within the legal boundary, within the ethical boundary, that you do what you gotta do to be prosper. But a lot of people, they kind of stay low because they want to have a good reputation. So a lot of people actually are poor or not successful because they try to stay low, because they try to stay under the radar, because they want to have a good reputation. But that's something that's gonna mess up. That's a big roadblock for your success. It's a lot of people want to stay low because they want to have a good reputation. Hold on, let me scroll up. I still need to improve my system a little bit because I have the note on my iPad. Okay, so the next fear a lot of people have is public speaking. As you can see, I'm not very scared of public speaking, but a lot of people are. So this is also something you have to overcome. So the fear of public speaking has a lot to do with some of the topics I just talked about. Fear of being imperfect, fear of being judged on, fear of being not accepted. So a lot of people have fear of public speaking. So just imagine, if you're afraid of speaking out loud, people will not know you, right? If you're trying to do business, people will not know your business. You're not gonna make a sale, right? How are you gonna be able to be successful if you're scared of public speaking, right? So the people that make the most money are people that are really good with public speaking, right? For example, the presidents, they have to make the speech. Like all these great people, they are really great orators, right? Like John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King. So anyone that wanted, do big things and make a big change in the world, they gotta be, you gotta be able you gotta be brave, and you gotta be able to be comfortable with public speaking, right? For example, Adolf Hitler, he's a bad example, but he became really powerful because he was really good at public speaking, right? Because he, removed his fear of public speaking. And another big fear a lot of people have is people being scared of failure. That's a big one of the big ones. A lot of people stay where they are. They make the money they make because they're worried that once they go do something new, they're gonna fail, right? So that's not me. So I have done a lot in my life. I'm relatively successful, but before that, I have tried many things. And success is just a trial, and it's basically you keep trying, and you're gonna fail a lot of times, and eventually you're gonna be successful, right? But without failure, you will not be successful, right? I mean, some people, maybe some genius, they can be really successful without having any failure experience. But most people, it takes trial and error to be successful. So if you are not willing to fail, it's very hard to be successful. Also, a lot of people are scared of cold call. I do cold call all the time. I'm just completely over it. So I can call anybody. I can call anybody, anyone, any day, anytime. Sometimes I make 700 cold calls a day. I can talk to anyone. It doesn't matter if you're gonna scream at me, if you're gonna curse at me. It doesn't matter. It's just business, right? And a lot of people are scared of door knocking. I have done that too. So what's the worst can happen, right? Maybe some dog come out and bite your butt. But if you're gonna be worried about some dog come out to biting your butt, and then you're not gonna go out there, then you will not be successful. That's what most people. That's a good analogy, actually. A lot of people, they don't realize it. I mean, door knocking is just an example of going out there and attacking life. I'm not saying literally you have to go door knock, but a lot of people do not go door knock because they're worried being bite. They're worried about the dog. But that dog, it's not literally a dog. It could be many other fears in your life or in your psyche that's keeping you from living your life. So, and a lot of people have been scared of being sued. I mean, until a couple years ago, I was scared of being sued as well. Then once I finally got sued, then I sued them back. Then I removed that fear too. So you gotta, the good thing about, what's important in removing the fear is just go through it. Once you go through it once, then your fear will be gone. So fear is really nothing but fear itself. Once you overcome it, then it will disappear. Just like cold calling. And I'm not, a good cold caller because I was born as a good cold caller. I'm a good cold caller because, I have struggled with it many years and was able to overcome it. So in the very beginning, when I first tried to cold call, I was waiting to call because I was worried that I was going to be screamed at. And that time of waiting is actually the fear of fear itself. And the longer I waited, the more scared I became. Then I discovered the easiest way to overcome that fear is just pick up the phone and start calling. Once you start calling, then that fear disappeared, right? So action is the best antidote for conquering fear. just go do it, right? Like Nike, just do it, right? Just freaking do it. Just fucking do it, right? Okay. Let me see what's the next one. A lot of people are scared of losing their job. They keep their job because they have a roof they need to put over the families. They need to support the family. They need to support themselves. They have debt. They have a mortgage. So a lot of people are scared of losing their job. But your time is limited, right? I'm not saying go out there to quit your job. I'm just saying you need to live your life, right? You need to figure out a way to not be confined by something. So, but obviously there's steps that you need to take to be ready if you do want to change your profession. But start planning and do it, right? Do not be stuck in a job that you don't like or hate just because you're afraid of losing all those, like we just talked about, right? And a lot of people are scared of losing money, so as a result they put the money in the bank. But as you know, especially these past years, money is the inflation is crazy, right? The US government kept printing money. Your money is going to be worse than nothing in no time. So, but a lot of people, they put the money in the bank because they're scared of losing money. But by you putting the money in the bank, you are actually losing money in a very rapid speed, because the government, they're just printing money every day. And a lot of people are scared to be different, right? A lot of people are trying to be a conformist. But the funny thing is, the more of a conformist you are, the more broke you will be, right? Because if everybody's doing the same thing, how are you gonna make money, right? How are you gonna be different? How are you gonna have the advantage, right? The people that's making money is because the people that have the unfair advantage. In order to have unfair advantage, you gotta be different, right? If you're same as everybody else, how can you be rich, right? So that's the thing. A lot of people are scared to be different. But if you want to be rich, if you want to be successful, then you gotta be different, right? Because most people are not rich. Most people are not successful. If you are not willing to be different, how are you gonna be rich, right? And a lot of people are scared of being rich, believe it or not. So yesterday, actually, I watched the old episode of Survivor. That guy, his name is Wu, right? The karate instructor. He's so freaking stupid, man. He was the last two guys, him and Tony, and there's another woman, Cassie, right? Three of them, they're the final three person that can have the chance to win $1 million. And the logical choice for him to win is to pick Cassie instead of Tony, because the jury, I counted the jury, is about like 12 people. There was 6 women, and I think 6 women and 5 or 6 men in the jury. So instead of picking Kathy, the woman, Wu, he picked Tony. That's so fucking stupid. Because if he picked Tony, doesn't matter how trickery or slimy Tony is, but most likely the woman is gonna pick Tony over Wu. But if Wu had picked Cassie, the woman which all the other women hated, he's 100% sure will win the $1 million. But he didn't pick Cassie. Instead, he picked Tony. That's so fucking stupid. So he had a chance right there to make $1 million, but he decided to pick Tony. Basically, that tells me he doesn't want to be rich. He's scared of being rich. He maybe inside of himself, he does not believe he deserved that $1 million. He's scared of being rich. So that's what it is, So it actually is true. A lot of people are scared of being rich because they don't want to leave their family behind. They feel like once they become rich, then they left the people around them behind them. You cannot do that. You can. The richer you get, the more money you get, the better you can help your family. Right, and that Wu guy, he even said that his mom just went through a heart transplant, and his family needed the money, but even with that, he still made the stupid choice of picking Tony, and he lost the chance to win the $1 million. It's just fucking, you know, crazy. I cannot believe it. Okay, so and a lot of people are scared of investing money. Just like I said earlier, you put your money in the bank, right? But if you put your money in the bank, inflation is gonna wipe out all your money, right? And then not to even talk about investing. A lot of people, I mean, then there are some people they are okay to invest, but they only want to invest in their same city or same state. They don't want to invest out of state. They don't want to invest outside of the country because they're scared that the money will be gone. But if you, for example, nowadays in California, the only people that are buying homes are people that are buying home to live in. You cannot, as an investor, you cannot buy a home in California now because the price is too high, right? How are you gonna make any money? The only way for you to make money investing in real estate nowadays is not inside of California. It's either outside of California, in other states, or other countries. That's the only way you can make money in real estate now, right? But if you're not willing to do that, then you're not gonna be making money, right? So and also a lot of people are scared of being successful. Just like I talk about, you know, a lot of people are being scared of being rich. So, you know, the conclusion, you're freaking poor because you are confined by your fear. And you know, all this accusation about, you know, being a chicken shit, I have been there. I have been through it before myself, and I think I pretty much overcome most of these fears. Right? My topic says, "You're a chicken shit. Prove me wrong." So if you don't have any of these fears I just talked about, you are fucking lying. Okay? So so make any comment, like my video, subscribe to my channel, and click on the little bell. So to encourage me to make more content that's gonna help more people. Okay? So this is Ray Chen. Until next time.